That was around 5 p.m. The police, they closed at 5.
But just think about this. So we have a lot of traffic lights. Some don't work, and then some, when they are malfunctioning, you have young men with neem tree branches directing traffic. We are competing with countries where the whole city's traffic is controlled from a command center. The building is bigger than a conference center, where all they do is make sure traffic is flowing. Where they're able to, like what happened this morning, if somebody saw this at dawn, they would then highlight which path to use alternatively. Why? Because productivity is important. How you get to work is important, because they feel that if you come to work stressed, you may not be able to give off your best, because it affects GDP. For us, we don't care where people live, where they get to work is not our business. Once they come and they say they are working, we are happy. We can never compete. And we need to see the relationship between how people get to work, ease of movement, and all these things, with the way the economy produces for people, right? So it's not just come and show up at work. If people can't get to work because where they live is too far or the traffic is not well managed, you're going to have these problems. So we're urging the MTT. We know that we can't solve all our traffic problems today. We can't build a traffic command center of that size if we don't have a proper system. But at least MTTD, you should have a surveillance system. Listen to the radio stations. People send radio stations all the kinds of comments about traffic. Send your men and women there. Let them bring some order, at least for the law-abiding citizens. Having said that, Godfred and Kojo, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Bernard. Good morning to you.
Good morning
to all our listeners.
Straight into the headlines.
Front page of the Daily Graphic then. Missing Galamsey excavators. 6 busted. Photo of Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng looking quite stern on the front page of the paper today. Government commits to develop more entrepreneurial minds, and I can see Mr. Franklin Soa, the acting MD of GCGL, exchanging pleasantries with Dr. Ibrahim Mohammed Awal. 2.5 million Ghana cedis voted against coronavirus, and 257 EC officers linked through fiber cables.
Now, the Ghanaian Times, missing Galamsey excavators, police nab 6 suspects charged with stealing. President cuts sword for construction of 17 megawatt solar project at Kaleo. Government commits 2.5 million Ghana cedis to fight coronavirus, and hundreds demo over new voters register.
Front page of the Daily Guide paper, Mahama silent on €5 million Airbus bribe scandal. NDC refuses to sign vigilante code. Ghanaians want new register, and JB Dankwa remembered in Parliament.
The Chronicle, NPP chair arrested over missing excavators, 5 others also in the cooler. Solar plants for Kaleo, Laura. Plot is thickening on Mahama link to bribery scandal. This is an Ebo Kwanzaa article, and NDC buses demonstrators from regions to pickets in Accra.
Front page of the Daily Statesman, open up for probe. Majority leader charges Mahama over Airbus bribery scandal. Ghana secures highest ever bond in Africa. $3 billion raised from 5 times oversubscribed Eurobond.
Now, the new Crusading Guide. Don't use our logo. PPP warns demo organizers. This is the voter register demo related matters. Missing excavators. CID picks Aguna West NPP chair. Stay off Kwabri East. Executives, delegates warn potential MP aspirants as they root for Francisca Ote-Mensah. And delegates root for Alfred Obin Boateng for Bibiani and Yaso Bekwai NPP seat.
Front page of the New Publisher, protesters curse EC over new voters register. When you should see the front page, people holding snaps and things. But if you're going to curse, why did you go on the demo? Just do the cursing. NDC snaps anti-vigilantism code, says document is meaningless. The government allocating $2.5 million to fight coronavirus is also here. And Ablakwa says Mahama not government official one.
Now, the finder, 64.9% back new voters register. Survey by Political Science Department of the University of Ghana reviews. President Akufo-Addo cast sword for 17 megawatt solar plant costing 22.8 million euros in Kaleo and Laura. NDC refuses to sign final roadmap to ending political vigilantism and bridge policy making and implementation gap in public sector. Boafo were advising.
And front page of the Daily Heritage makes me very, very happy this morning, Bernard. Ghanaians can't buy affordable housing now. Estate developer talks tough as Grader calls for review of mortgage laws.
I have the Go Street business, Bernard.
All right.
Coronavirus, government short-term revenue under pressure, so it's affecting us as well. Bond trading volumes hit record highs on Ghana fixed income market. New business registrations rise in 2019. Trend continues in January 2020. And yesterday on Facebook, somebody wrote his experience with registering a business. He said he registered a business. He was told to go on a portal to pay his registration fee and other things. He just went online, he paid. They sent him an email with all his documents.
How long did it take him?
I'm going to pull that post and maybe we can analyze.
A few more headlines. Coronavirus. Government to secure insurance for frontline workers. This is for citinewsroom.com. Also, 63rd Independence Day Parade to be held in Ashanti region. Mahama's brother was involved in purchase of C-295 aircraft, according to Che Mensa Bonsu. And Caleb Kuda writes, we joke too much. Meanwhile, Rolling says, stop publishing fake news in my name. And Danado cut short for 17 megawatt solar plant in the Upper West region. CitiBusinessNews.com. Government secures $3 billion Eurobond at cheaper rates. Also, corporate taxes from oil producers slumps in second half of 2019. And there's a good article here. Anekwe Abe writes, the city's appreciation is good for Ghana's public debt. And then in the US, Trump hails American comeback in his Congress speech, but Pelosi rips the speech apart. That's US politics there for you. As the president of US touts economy policies and seeks to move on from the trial.
That video was so interesting, Bernard.
Yeah, we'll talk about that if we have time. But let's start with the missing excavators.
Yes. I have a few things.
That's the lead story for Citi Breakfast News. 6 busted.
Yes.
More details in the papers.
Yes. Story by Mary Mensah. The Criminal Investigation Department of the Ghana Police Service has arrested 6 persons, including the suspended Central Regional Vice Chair of the New Patriotic Party, Horace Akoto, over missing excavators and other equipment seized by operatives of Operation Vanguard. The 6 suspects who were arrested at Avle in Accra on Monday have all been placed in police custody, assisting the police in investigations. Frederick Ewusi, Joala Samoa, John Ahin, Adnan Haruna, and Frank Jan were arrested for their alleged involvement in the disappearance of some excavators seized from illegal miners. After their arrest, the 6 were taken to the New Washing Bay at Tema Community 1, where they are alleged to have kept 34 of the excavators. The police, however, found only 1 non-functional excavator at the bar. According to Deputy Superintendent of Police, Ms. Juliana Obing, Eko Ewusi, Frederick Ewusi, and Asamoah had been cautioned on the offense of stealing, while Haruna, Jan, and Ahin had also been cautioned on the offense of abetment of stealing.
Now, the Chronicle is trying to give us some more details, some history. And they write that the Chronicle on October 10, 2019 published a story captioned, Seized Excavator Disappears in Transit to Accra. In that story, one Opia Mensah claimed that on February 20, 2019, personnel of the Galam Stop went to seize his 2 excavators from a mining site at Tumantu in the Nzema East District of the Western Region. He alleged that though the Galam Stop personnel extorted 200,000 Ghana cedis from him with a promise of releasing his excavator, that never happened. The excavator was rather taken to a location in Accra. The security men, when questioned, admitted extorting the money from the complainant.
200,000 cedis.
But said it was not 200,000 cedis, but just 40,000 Ghana cedis. After fruitless attempts to locate the 2 machines at the designated depots in Accra, one was found in the Kuntu Forest Reserve near Pristia, undertaking illegal mining activities. The 500,000 Ghana cedi valued excavator was burnt, and in the course of the police inquisition, one Rubinata, aka Kalusha, who sent the excavator to the Virgin Forest, was apprehended. He mentioned 2 persons, a politician and a security operative, as behind this acquisition of the earth-moving equipment.
Now, let me give you a story on something that got lost as well. If you go to my journal line, missing 400 tricycles, allegedly, that's the key word, allegedly found with pro-MPP militia group. This story is by Jerry Mode. It says a militia group aligned to the governing MPP, Kandahar Boys, allegedly forced their way into the Northern Development Authority premises and took away 400 tricycles without approval. According to information gathered by Joy News, 10 containers holding 40 tricycles each and were moved from the NDA premises sometime in October 2019 have been sighted, with most of them emptied. North Regional Correspondent Tanko Eliasu reported Tuesday that the containers were spotted at a location shared by an NGO, Center for Active Learning and Integrated Development, Khalid, as well as an electrical company. As we speak right now, 10 containers are still there, some of them open and actually empty, and there are no contents for us to see. These containers have been seen here since news broke that the 400 tricycles were missing, the reporter told News Anchor. He said some members belonging to the Kandahar Boys group told him, indeed, the tricycles were in the containers they took from the NDA's premises. The journalist added that some persons who bought them confirmed to him that persons connected to the Kandahar Boys sold the tricycles to them. So we've arrested 6 people for the excavators. Now it's been alleged that people from the Kandahar boys took the tricycles.
Bernard, for me personally, on the excavators, I think the Honorable Minister should make himself available for some questions. I am not satisfied. I have too many questions
on the excavators.
On the excavators, just too many. And it's good that they have started this, but we need to ask him some questions.
A lot.
And he needs to look. The seriousness of this is such that he should not hide.
Well, we can only request. We have made the request and we are waiting for a response. Let's get into other stories.
Other stories, Bernard. Let me give you some road stories. One in Tamale, one in Accra. Tamale Salaga Mankango Road ready in December. The Minister of Roads and Highways, Christian Akoto, has assured the people of Salaga and by extension the people of the Savannah region that the 138-kilometer Tamale Salaga Mankango Road will be completed by the end of this year. Now, there is a road which we are not talking about in the city, but which plays a key role.
Which road is it?
The Kaneshi Malam Road.
What have
you used it recently?
I usually avoid it. I will pass through the Kaneshi Cemetery and into Bubuyashi and appear at first light. I really don't want to.
That road is deteriorating, causing traffic and causing commuters a lot of.
Umaru Sana did a report on this 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And the way the vehicles have taken, almost trotro drivers, they take 2 lanes easy, and then the rest of us will share one.
We should suffer.
The Ghanaian Times reports that danger is looming on the Kaneshi Malam Highway due to the presence of gaping potholes on the road, creating inconveniences for road users, especially drivers and passengers. The situation gets worse anytime it rains as water gathers in the holes, making movement on the highway extremely difficult, not only for drivers but for pedestrians as well. And when contacted, an official of the Okaikwe South Assembly who did not disclose his identity stated that it was the duty of the Ghana Highway Authority to fix those roads, adding that his outfit had not been given the financial capability to undertake any repairs on the roads in that area.
Well, Bernard, let me give you the global fallout of the Airbus.
Before that, since he's talking about road, somebody just sent me a message. I think it's also news. He says, Bernard, the Dowenya Tukpon Road is bad. I live at Jeff Traco Estate, Committee 25. I work at Ridge. I leave home at 5:45 a.m. I get to work at 8:30. And it's just because that stretch, which should take 10 minutes, takes over an hour. It's a chaotic mess. It's the same in the evenings. 3 hours to get home. Here's his conclusion. The Kpom barrier just needs a traffic light. In the long term, we need the road dualized.
Yes, and that actually is not a long-term thing. So when they did the study on fixing the motorway interchange, one of the main reasons one of the main clauses in that particular contract was that the government, as a matter of agency, should find funding to dualize that road and fix the various things needed for traffic to flow, because once the motorway is done, it will push traffic to that area. And at the moment, we do not know whether the government of Ghana has that funding.
Coming 25, we pray for you.
Yeah,
because when the motorway interchange is finished, it means that all the traffic is moving to your eye.
My good friend Haruna always complains about this road, and unfortunately I can't talk about his reasons on radio because we need proof. But he has his own theory as to why traffic will never end there. But anyway, let me tell you about the Airbus fallout globally.
Yes.
From page 5 of Daily Guide. Now, fallout from the Airbus bribery scandal reverberated around the world as the head of one of its top buyers temporarily stood down, and investigations were launched in countries aggrieved at being dragged into the increasingly political dispute. The European plane maker is bracing for a rocky period with airlines and foreign governments, some of which have complained they were not forewarned about the charges and said they had little knowledge of the sums of money swirling around their fleet purchases. Now, in Ghana, for instance, a political storm erupted over accusations of Airbus payments to a relative of a government official in connection with the purchase of military transport airlines. In Colombia, airline Avianca said it had hired a law firm to investigate its relationship with Airbus and determine if it had been a victim of wrongdoing. French prosecutors said in settlement documents that Airbus had agreed to pay multi-million-dollar commissions to an agent over jet sales to Avianca, some of which were earmarked for a senior executive at the airline's parent Avianca Holdings. Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa ordered a full investigation after the UK's SFO reported that Airbus had hired the wife of a Sri Lankan Airlines executive as its intermediary in connection with aircraft negotiations. Korean Air and Taiwan's China Airlines declined to comment on allegations of payments to intermediaries over the jet purchases.
What about Malaysia? Because we also know that the head of Air Asia also has stepped aside on the basis of the the PDA. They call it.
Now, listening, my Chinese people have
DPA,
spoken. The Chinese government have spoken. Now, simply says this: China has always attached great importance to its cooperation with France in the aviation industry. Code word for next week: will arrest plenty people.
Well, in Ghana, there are lots of different things, attacks and defenses. So the latest on CitiNewsroom.com, Mohammed's brother was involved in purchase of C295, alleges Chairman Sabunsu, who's the majority leader. He was the minority leader at the time the plane was bought, and he has said that President Mohammed's brother was with the then Minister of Defense, Lieutenant General Henry Smith, and other officials who visited the Airbus offices overseas as part of processes to procure the aircraft. Then he quotes, some of us raised these matters even in 2011. That how come his own brother was with General Smith in Brazil, Spain, and France in the purchase of these aircraft, he said in a Citi News interview.
Bernard, let me take you to the finder. So the past few weeks, Accra Academy has recorded 2 fires, right? Now, in the finder page 12, fire destroys 2 dormitories at Boamponsem Senior High School. This is in the Dunkwa, Onofin area. Now, fire has also destroyed the girls' dormitory at the Buipe Senior High School.
Hey, what is going on?
Yeah, so Accra, Boamponsem, Buipe Senior High School.
There's also Upon Memorial.
Yes.
All have fire?
Yeah.
Hey, why? What's going on?
So maybe the Ghana Education Service should get the fire service to do a fire audit of the various senior high schools and educational institutions and put in place.
So what are the details?
So fire on Monday afternoon destroyed 2 male dormitories at the Boamponsem Senior High School at Dunkornofin in the Upper Dentra East Municipality, displacing about 300 students. Now, if you go to Buipe, the girls' dormitory of the Buipe Senior High School in the Central Gonja district of the Savannah region has been destroyed by fire that started at 7:30 a.m. on Monday while the students were in class. Students' personal effects that were in the dormitory could not be salvaged. The fire station at Buipe was called in to help, but this equipment was out of use. And so fire officials had to rely on the fire station at Damango, which took more than 2 hours
Lord have mercy.
to arrive at the scene. Some of the students tried to extinguish the fire with buckets of water but did not succeed as the flames charged even more extensively.
But Bernard, it just occurred to me, during your secondary school days, did your school have a fire extinguisher in your dormitory blocks? We didn't.
I don't remember.
Did you ever have fire drills?
Fire drill? No, we did. We never had a fire drill.
They're doing inspection.
We don't do any safety drills.
I know the way that we sleep in those dormitories. Sometimes you have 30 boys in one room.
With one exit and entrance.
And with mosquito net and things. So if there's a fire, it's a serious thing. You know what? I think that there should probably be an overview of dormitories now that we have free SHS more people coming. And there should be a long-term plan to make our dormitories more livable. Because almost all of us, you know, the dorm you sleep in. Sometimes the window is open, something is broken. It's serious. Anyway, let's move to the economy. We understand there's some money coming.
Yes, Ghana secures highest ever bond in Africa. That is on the front page of the Daily Statesman, but the story is on page 2 of the paper. Ghana yesterday secured a 41-year bond, being the highest ever in Africa, breaking its own 2019 record of a 31-year bond, which had also never been recorded on the continent before. Analysts believe this is a clear indication that the country's economy is growing stronger, with confidence in the economy also growing stronger. Information available to the Daily Statesman as at press time yesterday indicated that the country had raised $3 billion in Eurobonds, which were oversubscribed 5 times to the tune of over 15 billion.
Now, some more news in the economy and banking sector. ADB devises strategy to be among the top 5 banks. Now, the management of ADB Bank has adopted a 3-year strategic plan to position the bank among the top 5 in Ghana. And according to them, they will attain this vision by 2020. And they want to be among the top banks, namely GCB Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, EcoBank, Barclays Bank, and Stanbic Bank. Now, if you check the Gold Street business, additional production well on 10 fields set for completion first quarter. So we are going to get more oil and more oil revenue.
And also on page 29 of the Daily Graphic, speed up our payment process. Aggrieved customers of Gold Coast Fund Management demand. So that particular story is also ongoing. That is on page 29 of the Daily Graphic.
You know, that came in yesterday. Now, let me do a few other stories for you. So, government to secure insurance for frontline workers in the event of coronavirus outbreak. We've also allocated money to fight the disease. Yesterday, Minister for Health, Kojo appeared before Parliament and addressed the media as well and said the plan is to aid in tackling the spread of coronavirus in case of an outbreak. We are in this together, and therefore we call on the private sector to give their full support to national efforts in this period. Government has set aside 2.5 million cedis to respond in the event of an outbreak. The money is meant as a startup fund towards the implementation of the initial response for Ghana's national preparation plan. So that seems to be going pretty well.
Okay. Let me give you one story before you take us international. So on page 3 of the Daily Heritage, Ghanaians can't buy affordable housing now. That is here. The executive chairman of JL Properties Limited, Dr. James Orleans Lindsay, has said most Ghanaians cannot buy so-called affordable houses now because of low incomes. Mr. Lindsay said this in reaction to some views expressed by the president of the Ghana Real Estate Development Association, GREDA, Mr. Patrick Boafo, when members of the association paid a working visit to Mr. Lindsay's outfit in Accra last Thursday. Mr. Boafo, in preferring some suggestions that could help estate developers sell their houses, said the association was trying to champion the idea of the model package to attract people to buy houses, in addition to calling for the review of the mortgage law. Now, in his counter view, Mr. Lindsay said, I have a different view from what my president is saying. As it stands now, we cannot do affordable housing. We need to be frank and hit it right on the head. We can't. Until such times that the lower to upper middle class has expanded, until such time that there is more money in the system, developers like GREDA Association will not be able to do affordable housing, because you ask yourself, how affordable is affordable? A trained teacher gets 1,400 Ghana cedis per month. A trained nurse gets 1,200 cedis a month. And the definition of affordable is a house that you not use more than 30% of your income to finance. Nobody is going to take 400 Ghana cedis as a mortgage payment in a month.
Kojo, are you saying that it's impossible to build a house for somebody to pay 500 cedis a month over 30 years to pay for?
It is not impossible. It is very possible. It is very
so
possible.
Why is he saying that at this? So is it that the things they used to build are too expensive, or what?
We need to relook at our approach to housing in this country. Materials, technology, and everything. There's a lot of research and land. There's a lot of research and a lot of things that we can do. We just have to sit up and
rethink the model.
And rethink the model. Because look, if you look at what we are doing, it's not sustainable. Now, Bernard, there's a very important story in the Finder, page 12. You know, at the Operation Feed Yourself, a lot of the speakers told us that before they export their produce to Europe, they have to be of a certain standard, right? Now, and one of them asked, who is checking on the standard of the food we buy in Ghana? There's this story in the Finder by Awo Intiwa Yabwa, Accra residents purchasing death and disease at Agbogloshi.
You know, we did one from Wager as well, where there's an abattoir that's cutting meat in some very insanitary conditions. Let's get into this one quickly.
Now, she says that if you go to Agbogloshi and the Blue Way Market, you see people selling food right beside rubbish, beside choked gutters, with all sorts of flies and insects and rats and everything playing around. How they pack the food, how they sell the food, how everything about it is wrong. And she's talking about the fact that even the people within those areas, the sellers, they are always being hospitalized because of the conditions they do their business in, and somebody must pay attention to it.
Let me do two international or Africa stories. So in South Africa, an arrest warrant has been issued for former President Jacob Zuma. This story is in the Mail and Guardian. Former President Jacob Zuma's non-appearance in the a high court in a place called Pietermaritzburg on Tuesday for a pre-trial hearing in his fraud and corruption case sparked its own drama when the court issued a warrant for his arrest. However, the warrant issued at the request of prosecutor Billy Downer was stayed until Zuma's next appearance in court, scheduled for May 6. Then that's the first one. The second story...
He's not well, so he's outside the country.
Second story says, locust swarms threaten more countries in Eastern Africa. This is the FAO. It says, and this is the Reuters, swarms of desert locusts could ravage more countries in Eastern Africa and threaten the livelihood of many more people, the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization said on Monday. The swarms, first sighted in December, have already destroyed tens of thousands of hectares of farmlands in Kenya, Somalia, and Ethiopia. They are also now threatening South Sudan, Uganda, Eritrea. And the locusts eat food the size of their body in a day. So, I mean, can you eat food the size of your body? Even the kinky you eat is not half of your head size. And locusts eat food. It's a serious matter. And they are in the millions. So that's something where we should...
So when you have locusts that weigh, say, 100 tons in an area, it means in a day they have to eat 100 tons of food.
It's very serious. And then in Lesotho, some very interesting thing. The
Yeah,
first lady
the
of
first
Lesotho
lady.
has been charged with murdering
The
president's former wife.
Yeah.
Who is and the description of the murder is the woman was driving, some people accosted her, she drove her car, and they shot her 4 times. So Thomas Tabane is the president of Lesotho. He was inaugurated in 2017 and
soon to resign, actually.
Yeah. So it's a story for those of you who want soap operas. That's as high as they come. That was a newspaper review. Coming up next is the Citi Business News.
This is the Citi Breakfast